Welcome back, YouTubers, to another Q&A with us, the British Fist.
Ka-ching!
Ka-ching indeed for the win. Hashtag on Twitter, trending worldwide, in your house, in your homes, in your country, I guess. I am Mr. Parkin. This guy sitting next to me is the charismatic NJ.
What's up?
Exactly. And subscribe above, guys. Like this video. Comment any thoughts you have on the questions we've answered down in the comment section below.
Make sure you contact us in the link in the description box below.
Yes, and also in the links in the description box below, you will see how you can send us questions via YouTube inbox, via commenting down below, or via Facebook at facebook.com/BritishFish. So make sure you get us your questions sent in via those links. And we've enjoyed answering your questions as of late, haven't we, NJ? We're approaching that magical 52 one, aren't we? I'm looking forward to that one.
It'll be a very good one to get to help keep us sending questions.
Yes, indeed. We'll start this Q&A off then with Live Forever 329. From the current ROH roster, who do you think has the best chance of following in the footsteps of CM Punk and Daniel Bryan and making it big in WWE? Can you think of anyone? I mean, I'll mention. I know someone, but I doubt he'll go to WWE.
I look at the roster and, again, as we've said in past ones, that's why I started looking at ROH. They're all similar in one way or another. So the fact they're all similar, it's like saying all of them can have a chance to go to the WWE because they're all the same. But if I had to pick one that stood out to me, it's Steen, just because of him being different and the big guy that the WWE seem to like.
Yeah, and I was going to say Kevin Steen as well, a very edgy character who can really do well, in my opinion, on the WWE, but not in their PG era. They'd have to move into a sort of slightly edgy era if they were going to accommodate for Kevin Steen. Another guy who I think WWE would like is Mike Bennett. He kind of fits that typical WWE type guy, the guy he doesn't necessarily have the best wrestling match, but he has a fantastic character and is a good heel as well.
Not the greatest appeal like you would think, but Lethal was pretty good, I think. I found him quite entertaining when I was watching it, so I wouldn't mind seeing him maybe up in the mid-card in WWE.
Yeah, the only trouble is he was in TNA. You know what Vince thinks of ex-TNA guys, don't you? But anyway, not to put a damper on it, NJ, I'm just saying it, that's all. Howard the Man. What matches or feuds could have happened, I should say, if injuries, deaths, or leaving the company didn't happen? He gives us a lot of examples here. I think out of the examples he's given us, Hulk Hogan versus Bret Hart was a big match we never saw. Just back in that era where Bret Hart was really starting to become a star, and the one person we never really got a match against was Hulk Hogan. That was a match which really would have solidified Bret Hart a lot better.
There's two that stands out from this list. There's Eddie and Shawn Michaels. I think with Eddie being put in the main event, Shawn Michaels being a good guy to put people over, they could have somehow slowly built up to that match. And then if it was younger and they weren't both in TNA, maybe Hogan and Flair, they would build up some kind of feud if the WWE thought, let's put a big match at WrestleMania. The
problem with the Flair vs Hogan was that WWF had a chance to do it at WrestleMania 8, but they never did it, and then WCW did it to hell, so they kind of made that match seem kind of redundant. But that was a match which really should have happened in WWE during Flair's year-long run. I think the other two matches which kind of stand out for me here are Austin, Hogan, two big draws of their respective eras. This match, you know, it's a shame this match never actually happened. And of course, Austin, Lesnar. Even though Lesnar left the company, Austin never really put over Lesnar 100% legitimized, which really, in my opinion, if Austin was going to leave the company and was suffering from injuries and, you know, should really have passed the ball on to the next generation, really he should have done.
Well, if, let's say, Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, let's say Goldberg left and Brock Lesnar stayed around, I think they could have made a feud because of Stone Cold being the referee. They could have made a match from that following going up to the next pay-per-view. I know it would be at WrestleMania, but it would have still been a match between the two if they kept him around a bit longer than they did.
Could have been a good one, NJ. Who do you see future endeavoured by 2013? JTG, Trent Beretta, Alex Riley, Tyson Kidd, or Michael McGillicuddy?
Few words, all the same. Money, money. Yeah, yeah.
Money, money. Yeah, yeah. Money, yeah.
JTG.
Any excuse we get to do the money, yeah is just good fine for me. I think JTG and Trent Beretta are the two people off that list that will get in future endeavored. I don't see Alex Riley. I think he has a lot to offer to the company. Tyson Kidd, again, I think he's a good wrestler. And Michael McGillicuddy, they probably want to do something with McGillicuddy because he's been involved in a good feud with Tyson Kidd on NXT, so it looks like they probably want to do something with him. But there we go.
It would be interesting because he was a part of Nexus and still a guy that was used in some way. They just dropped the ball with him, so maybe he could come back and save his career.
Call him Joe Hennig. Just let people know he's from the Hennig family and he'll get over a bit more. Best in the world 24/7. That's a nice. I love that. Best in the world 24/7. Do you think a Dean Ambrose and Randy Orton feud would be good without Orton squashing Ambrose? To start off with, Ambrose is only just coming up from FCW, and I think if he feuds with Randy Orton, yeah, he'll start him off at the top, but I don't see Randy Orton really offering that much, even though I think it would be a good feud, because they're both kind of slightly psychotic gimmicks, especially Ambrose. Yeah, and they're both heels, really, at heart. But, you know, it would be good if Dean Ambrose got on the card a little bit more, like rose up the card a bit, but not now.
With him being a younger talent, I really wouldn't want to see him go up against Randy Orton, who's had a good role of putting younger talent down and so on. He's only started to do something differently, but I wouldn't really want to take that risk.
Give me an Ambrose Mick Foley feud. I would say thank you very much. Even an Ambrose William Regal feud, if you want to bring him into the WWE strongly, that would be a good idea. Orton and Ambrose, maybe if Ambrose gets more, higher on the card, maybe, but just not now while Orton is probably going to bury him. But there we go. 17A Harris. Within the next few years, which under-the-radar superstars do you think will make it to the main event status? Under the radar, I think Riley could be one of those guys, maybe.
The guy I was thinking they dropped it quite quickly was Mason Bryan, just because he had the look about him, which WWE like, and he was in the new Nexus, and he was a dominant guy there. They dropped the ball with him, but I had hopes for him.
I'd love to see Drew McIntyre make it to the main event scene, but that ain't going to happen, is it?
No. If I had to think of one more, I'd say Hornswoggle.
Oh, fuck Hornswoggle, NJ. He's worse than Eric Young, that guy. I'm just saying. But anyway, so the problem here is there's not very many superstars at the moment which we can see potential from, because WWE isn't allowing us to see that potential and it's not sticking them in feuds. You could say guys like Ryback, maybe Cesaro, Dean Ambrose possibly could be main event stars later on, but we don't really know yet, and it's very difficult for us to judge, isn't it?
It is indeed, it is.
Azham, Azham, what a name. We got some good names on these Q&As, don't we? Who do you guys think will be the next face of the WWE? CM Punk? I mean, while Cena's at the top, they've got a face, and I know you don't like Cena, but he is the top face, but I don't know. I mean, WWE are pushing a guy called Ryback right now, who I think Vince is very high on and could be. There was reports earlier last year. Remember, this is like the third ever video we made when we talked about Skip Sheffield being the second top babyface behind John Cena.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there.
Yeah, let's just call another local wrestler in, yeah?
Yeah, fair enough. But we've only seen 4 matches, NJ, so let's not get too critical now. So it's really difficult for us to say, because they haven't really given us a direction of like what guys, what young talent they have that could be the next face. I don't think even WWE know who their next face of the company is going to be, really. No real long-term planning in their product right now.
Not yet.
WST Gareth Jones. This will be a good one for us both, NJ. If you were in charge of ROH on Sinclair, what changes would you make to appeal more to a mainstream wrestling audience? Now, I'll put this to you first, NJ. You stopped watching Ring of Honor. Just give the YouTubers a bit of a lowdown as to why you stopped watching Ring of Honor.
The choice of wrestlers there are not the best. Yes, some of them got character, most of them are boring. And also, when it comes to an hour show, they have to try and think of what would be important to show on each show. So they have to cram things in, rush things, short matches. And I just feel stuff like that really affects people's enjoyment of the actual show. So
basically, they need some better characters that we can buy into. They need a TV show which isn't as boring, in my opinion, because the TV show is boring. I still watch the damn thing and review it on my channel. But they really need to start moving into the 21st century with wrestling, because their way they do their TV show at the moment is very Smoky Mountain wrestling, and in my opinion, the stuff they've done, like March Madness and the wrestlers they showcase at the top, really, people just don't give a shit about. So they need to start doing things that more people care about. Give us more characters. Give us some names that we may know from the past in there, just to help raise the profile a little bit. There's so many changes they could make to that TV show, just to make it less boring and focus more on storylines and stuff that mainstream fans prefer than wrestling. There we go. iRod4545. If you wanted to somehow get the tag titles to headline a WrestleMania again, when did it headline it before? What wrestlers would you use to make it have a huge deal, and under what match stipulation? Could we ever make a tag title match as their main event at WrestleMania? I don't think they could.
Event, because obviously with the big wrestlers that have now been split and single wrestlers now left the WWE, no. If you just said have a tag team match happen at WrestleMania for it to be big, I'd probably bring back old tag team and they may not be stay here long term, but just have them there, just have a big draw for WrestleMania.
I mean, you could try bringing in some big names. I mean, we've seen Rock, we've seen Brock, we've seen CM Punk, we've seen John Cena, blah, 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 Jericho. You could stick some big names together and make it a tag match, but I doubt that'll ever happen because generally you want a singles feud to main event the show or be a big draw or something.
What I was thinking is, let's say the tag champs versus an tag team. So that would have been the tag teams look good because they're going to be bigger, stronger tag teams. The only one I could possibly think of, which can't happen because I'm just going to write myself a suicide note and I'm going to smoke, which is the Hardy Boys. They could have been there, but sadly they've done the wrong thing and sorry boys, they're not going to be around for WrestleMania.
Writing a suicide note and smoking dope before Victory Road. Oh god, that sums up the Hardy Boys, doesn't it?
Okay.
But it's very hard to make a tag title match even get on WrestleMania at this point in time, so to have it, you need to do some real marketing and stuff to really get a tag team match in a WrestleMania main event, or even to headline a WrestleMania. Then 27. A couple of questions for us here. Ace said Punk was facing natural disasters. I immediately thought F5, Punk, Lesnar. Let's go more towards Cena now, but you never know. They may move Lesnar onto Punk. You never know what they might if they wanted to go after the WWE Championship. Could be interesting. Now I hear Tensai means disaster, but Tensai bored the fuck out of me 10 years ago and is worse now. Warm welcome. Then he does one move and everyone sits on their hands and little to no reaction after the match. There were things, news about CM Punk feuding with Tensai at one point, and I'm glad that they haven't gone down that road, but you never know, they may go down that road after CM Punk and Jericho finishes.
Well, I really look at Tensai and think, yes, he's a dominant character, but he's still the same guy he was in the past, just with a different character. But him going up against Punk with his name meaning disaster, he was once a ring what's in the past. He was once getting John Cena, beat John Cena, then went after R-Truth. Where's the build that is leading up towards Punk? I really don't see it now. So really, that was WWE's idea. They've blown it. But who knows what's going to happen to Tensai in the next few weeks.
He doesn't get very much reaction on Raw, but who can blame him when all people want to do is chant Albert? Ugh. He's just not a very interesting character. But do you think Tensai will last? Do you think he'll feud with Punk? I can't see Tensai lasting that long. WWE will try and give it to us, but do you think he'll feud with Punk with the WWE title?
Even the whole disaster thing, I think they're just going to move straight past that whole you're going to be against a disaster and all that stuff, where it's a storm, all that's coming. They're going to look past that and just think that was just a phrase and just move on. I don't see it happening. And
if he does feud with Tensai, yes, Punk will be wasted in it, but he'll have a win against the kind of big, dominant guy they're trying to build him up to be. But there we go. Warlocks 27 asked us 2 questions. Do you think that an A-Train return to WWE was a good idea or a waste of time? I'm an A-Train fan in Japan, but knowing WWE, he's just going to be in the mid-card the whole time. I think the whole thing here is, NJ, is 10 years ago when he was A-Train, we didn't care. Why would we care now, even though they've acknowledged the fact he was A-Train and he's now Lord Tensai? And I just don't see anything really special about this gimmick, really.
Well, even if he was over in Japan with all this stuff that he does, I still think if he came back as Albert, so that people know, maybe it wouldn't be that bad. The fact that he's trying to reinvent himself and it's not working, it's just not really working out for him or the WWE, not really.
And it's just not interesting for us either, even if they're going to try and get him over. Why is a guy like Matt Bloom, the guy who portrays A-Train and Lord Tensai in WWE, I mean, if he couldn't offer WWE anything in the last 10 years, then why the fuck is he back now? But there we go. Yeah, exactly. He wants to spray mist like Tajiri used to. In WWE history, sorry, I'll rephrase that question again. In WWE history, the chants "What" and "You suck" were a hit, and like the night after WrestleMania, everybody started to chant "Yes" all night. Would you like to see Daniel Bryan "Yes" to be the new "What"? I would. I think might as well get rid of that stupid "What" chant now and actually bring in a cool chant like "Yes, yes, yes, yes."
Well, I'll say for the Daniel Bryan fans, the "Yes" will never, I mean never be the new "What." The "What" was something big, awesome. Stone Cold made it. Stone Cold's the bigger wrestler that can get crowd going the way he wants it, and Daniel Bryan's just brought this in. The fans are trying to put Daniel Bryan over.
What? What? I think that's "Yes" is so much better than "What," and just because it's something new. And I was kind of getting fed up with the "What" chant, especially when they're starting to chant it during Undertaker promos, which is just damn disrespectful. Nappy 1987. Let me guess, you're 25 years old, and when you were a kid, your mum used to put nappies on you. I'm just assuming that. If you guys had to book Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, how would you book it? I think the first thing we need to sort of say here is who would we want him to go against, and how would we build him up to that person?
Well, it looks like they're building Cena and Brock maybe up to SummerSlam. Then after SummerSlam, depending on the result of SummerSlam, they could move him on to someone else and then build him up towards another wrestler for WrestleMania.
I mean, the question is here, would they make him go up against The Rock? Would they make him feud with a CM Punk? Would they make him go against Undertaker? Who really knows? If I was doing it, I think the best thing you can do is make a non-title match between a Brock Lesnar and a Rock, maybe. No one really benefits from it long-term, but it's one of those, like, big money-drawing matches which could, main event at WrestleMania, kind of similar to Cena Rock.
It would be a big match, but I personally would like to maybe see The Rock going for the WWE Championship or the big title match at Mania, and then have Brock against someone else. But maybe Punk, he's not the champ at the time, but that's just how I'd see it.
You've got John Cena feuding with Brock Lesnar right now. Then apparently they've got plans for Orton to feud with him. You're feuding with any big guys you can to try and get them some, because they'll be in the main event scene there. So you're feuding with guys who, you're feuding with guys like Punk and Sheamus maybe, etc., just to get them on TV and just to get them more notice because they're feuding against Brock Lesnar. And that would be the way to build up to it, in my opinion, especially if they're going to do a sort of big money match between him and Rock, possibly at WrestleMania.
Could be, but the way you look at it is that Brock's here for a year, so they can do whatever they can to make him the best deal they've got, using the best way they can. So I'm expecting them to have some kind of big plan for him at WrestleMania.
And the last question we have on this Q&A is from a YouTube name Subhan the Best. I think that's what it says. I can't read it properly because I'm just crap at reading. That's what a degree does for you in business management, NJ. This one is for NJ. Would you make this match happen? Goldberg versus Cena at WrestleMania 29. And I think I can see where you're going with this because the only reason you'd want this is if Goldberg kicks Cena's ass, right?
Well, the way I see this match is that Goldberg, yes, he was dominant when he came into the WWE. Yeah, people didn't like for certain reasons. But with him being the way he is, him being left in the main event stuff, him going in and just doing a spear, taking out Cena down, it would make a big WrestleMania match. But WrestleMania 29, they've already got a big name already in. So maybe push it for a later date, but it would be a match I look forward to seeing.
I must admit, if I can chime in on this one, I really wouldn't want to see Goldberg, who's been out so long now, along with Brock Lesnar, go against John Cena. I just really wouldn't want to see that one. But there we go. That's the end of another Q&A, guys. Q&A number, what is it, 48 now? I think we're on now. I'll lose count of all the Q&As we do because we record them 3 at a time, really, don't we, on the same day? But there we go. Give us your thoughts on the questions we've answered, or give us any thoughts down in that comment section below. Keep sending us your questions as well, as NJ is so poignantly pointing to you. And, keep sending in the questions. And we're very thankful for the questions you give us here at the British Fist. And you should also be thankful for this that NJ is going to say. Go with the outro.
Thank you very much, people. This has been a Q&A from the British Fist, from Mr. Parkin and me, NJ. Thank you very much for your questions. Until next time, people, keep smiling and goodbye.